Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, y'all, I got my.
I don't want to.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'll stay.
Talking to my son. I'm going to wait for a few of y'all to come on here. That I really want to. I'm trying to get my computer up. Sorry. I don't need my computer, so it's going to take y'all a couple minutes anyway to see this on the page. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get stuff picked up. So let me tag a few people on here, okay? So let me see who could join us on the page, okay? I don't really see any of y'all in this first list of people. I do see a lot of people on there, but I think that y'all will pop on here accordingly to who needs to see this and who doesn't. Okay, the topic is, should COs be allowed on this page? Okay, so once my numbers go up just a little bit, I'll get started because I don't want anybody to miss the most important thing that I want to say about this. So the question is, should COs be allowed on this page? This isn't a question for the audience yet until I want to give y'all my take on it, and then y'all kind of let us know what you think. Let me see if the comments, I don't see where I can even make a okay. Let me do this. Sorry, y'all. The only reason I get ready once y'all, okay, it's working. Y'all like my shirt? Peace, love, and the incarcerated. These were the last shirts. Hey, Tasia. Okay, y'all, because some of y'all haven't been on the page long. You don't know about the page yet, or maybe you do. Actually, there's just some on here, and you are definitely entitled for your own opinions on this, okay? But I'm going to give y'all my take on it in just a minute. We're going to wait just a couple more minutes. So the question is, should correctional officers, hey, Debbie, should correctional officers be allowed on inmate support groups? Hey, let's say Salandria. Okay, wait, Salandria. Hey, Irene. Y'all, hey, Carrie. Okay, but I'm going to give y'all my take on it, okay? I really don't even want y'all to tell me yet what yours is. I mean, you can make comments, of course, until I tell y'all what I want to tell y'all about what I think about should correctional officers be allowed on this page, okay? So I'm going to wait until we get to 20. And then when we get to 20, I'm going to go ahead and start on what I really want everybody to hear. I will put this on the wall, so if you guys miss it, it will be on the main page. And when I talk about the main page, I mean inmate support / incarcerated loved ones. I don't know if y'all know this, but that page started out as incarcerated sons, because I started this page almost 5 years ago when my son went to county jail and was looking at 25 to life in federal prison. He was in county jail for 2 years and then went on, and now he's doing his federal prison. He didn't get 25 to life. He got much less. Thank you, Lord. I give all that for the prayers that I prayed, for the faith that I had. I give all that to that. I truly do, okay? And sometimes, y'all, I come off very strong on my posts. So I thought the best thing for me to do is get on here and let y'all know how I feel about correctional officers on our page, and then let's go from there, and then y'all can understand where I'm coming from. Maybe not. I want honest opinions, but I want to tell y'all something, okay? So we're at 18 right now. When we get to 20, I'm going to tell y'all what I really want y'all to hear about this. We're back down to 18, which means somebody left. I want to have at least 20 on here because I know that, okay, we're up to 20. Hey, Beth. Okay, so I want to tell y'all a little story real quick, okay? And it's really good, so try to stick with me. I won't drag it on and on and on, but I want to tell you. So my husband and I, when my son went to county jail, my son's dad, Big Mike, had been in and out for years. I had been doing this already then, like 29 years. I mean, it had been just all my life. But I was able, like with him, after several years, I was able to move on with my life, okay? My son is my son. Although we always, kept in touch and stayed in touch. But my son, it was different, okay? Now my son, hey, Valerie, yes, all right. I see us here. So with my son, I knew I was in this for the duration. Okay. So I go, I'll make a long story short because I don't want to drag y'all on and on, but I'm going and visiting my son and I see these ladies, man. And I'm like, I knew these ladies weren't there to visit, but I knew every week they were there to come and do something. So one week I approached them. I was like, what do y'all come here for? And they told me that they came to do an overcomers class to the maximum security women of the facility. So I was like, okay, and I started telling them about my story and about my son's dad and how this started out my journey when I was very, very young and how he was in and out, blah, blah, blah. But I moved on. I got married to an amazing man, Christian man. We've been together like 15 years. And I'm just telling them my story. So they're seeing like, wow, she came from just the hardest of hard life and, and just God really got her through. And now her story, my husband and I have been doing ministry work for about 15 years now. But at that point, it had been about 10 years, 11 years. I mean, strong. We had done a lot of stuff. And so they were really interested in talking to me. And they're like, hey, would you be interested in coming into the facility and speaking with the women and telling them your testimony? They're like, we had a third woman. We've been doing this for years, but we had a third woman and she was a homeschool mom and she would just kind of pass out brochures as a third to help us with this overcomers class every week. It's not that we're asking you to take that place, but would you just come in and give your testimony? What you just told us, will you come in and talk to the women and let them know that there's hope and there's, and what you're going through now. And at this point, my son had just been arrested. Okay. Well, it was really crazy because my son was actually in this county jail. So I thought for sure there's no way they're going to let me come in. But they said that I could come in as long as my son wasn't in this program and wasn't coming to programs at that time. So it was like really, really cool. But the only thing was I had to give up one of my visitations a week to do the overcomers class because that was during a visitation time, but I could still keep the other. But it was really cool because my sister or my son's fiance or my mom or somebody said that they would take that other spot. So we would still get to go in there twice a week. So I'm telling y'all all this to kind of lead you up to remember, we're on here for you to hear my take. Hey, Tara. Hey, for you to hear my take on whether I think correctional officers should be allowed on the page and how I feel about it and why I feel this way about it. And then I want y'all to all share with me after you listen to kind of the rest of the story, what you think. So anyway, I get approved. I go in and I love it. Okay. Mind you, I had dropped out. I told y'all my whole testimony, but I had dropped out of school in 9th grade, went back, got my bachelor's in criminal justice. I was so proud of myself for that. Loved it, but I never really wanted to be like on the probation, parole, correctional officer. I never wanted to be on the side that had to go against the inmate. I wanted to help the inmate. So really that in reality, that is like ministry work that you don't get paid for, but you do get paid for. Because that's what God wants you to do. And it just is so fulfilling and you love it. So they asked me if I wanted to come in and do that. I go in, I tell my testimony, and these women are like, wow, okay. I just tell what's going on, what it led up to, that there's hope, that there's, faith, just to have faith and to keep their prayer. And mind you guys, my son had only been arrested like maybe 3 or 4 months at this time, okay? He's been in almost 5 years. So I'm with these ladies. Well, they love me. I'm not saying it for any other reason. We just clicked. Okay. They're in their 60s and they're like really good mentors for me. So they're like, do you think we'd love to meet your husband? So I was like, yeah. And so we arrange a dinner for my husband to come and we meet and they love him. And he had never really done jail and prison ministry. He had done every other ministry. He had done, went out and fed people. He went out and helped people. He built things for people. He worked on our chuck wagon team at the church that we were with. Just all kinds of things, but he had never done prison and jail. But I had always had such a heart for it because of my history with it. He had never really had much history with it. But now his stepson, my son, is looking at 25 to life. And he loves us enough to know this is just devastating to our family. So they're like, would y'all like to come in once? You can come in like 3 times before you're totally approved and have all of your training and see if you like it. And so we go in the first time and my husband loved it. And this is like a maximum security men's transfer facility. in Texas, which means they can't be in there more than 2 years, but they could be in there as little as 3 months, okay? And it was maximum security inmates. And my history had been, always, hey, Kinsey. Y'all, I got to meet Kinsey in person today. It was so awesome. So, my experience had been with the Texas prison system my whole life. My criminal justice degree was from Texas A&M, criminal, Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. So everything had come from Texas. So I had done my internship the first, and I think really the last. I was an intern at Texas Workforce Commission, and I worked for it was called Project Rio, and we did, as inmates came out, we did reentry stuff, and this was in 1999. So this has been, or 98 is when I did it. And I just felt so good because of what I had went through with my son's dad, the love, at that time, my soulmate, the person I had been with since I was 14 years old. It was just, it had been tough, and I really had accomplished a lot. Well, now I found myself a mom of this. I know I'm going on and on, y'all, but I really have to search. So we go in and we start going into this maximum security men's prison, my husband and I, that I'm still going every week. So I'm going twice a week for about a little bit over 2 years. I'm going twice a week into these two different facilities. One's Collin County Jail. The other one was Buster Cole State Prison in Texas. Some of y'all might be familiar with that. So I go in and I meet this correctional officer because we go in and we do a program called Possum Talks, okay? We go in and we do a program called Possum Talks. It's a program where dads learn to be dads from prison. I give my, 15, 20-minute story. I work with them all weekend in workshops. Really good program. Look it up. It's Texas. It's possumtalks.org. In Texas, and see if it's in your facility. Those two women that are doing that program are my heart. I love them so much. Those are the two women. So I go in, and most of the correctional officers, I'll be honest with y'all, most of the correctional officers are a-holes, okay? They're a-holes. But I think kind of in a sense they have to be, okay? I'm not saying they have to be a-holes, trust me, because I don't want anybody treating my loved one bad. But they have to be, a little bit firm, because you guys, the ones that are in seg, they throw feces at them. They throw food at them. These inmates cuss them out. So I'm not saying it's right, but you just, after you've been cussed out every day for, hey, Eunice, for day after day, week after week, year after year, I guess it kind of gets to you. That's why I can't be a correctional officer. I can't go in there and become hard. I'm just not that person. So most of them come in the middle of, like, you're in a really good part of their overcomers class. And that class is a really good class. We're going to get that here in our community soon and be able to teach it again. But they'll be right in the middle, and they'll make them jump up. Hey, Samantha, they'll make them jump up and do count. And it's just, I could tell y'all so many stories. We were in there every single week. They are taught to be firm. Yeah, they have to. They can't show weakness to these inmates. Hey, Nikki, I know my son's dad told me stuff he said to these. You don't understand. We went in, when I was in my senior year of college, we went in and we got to go inside the prison. I was so, Kinsey, can I use you as an example? I won't go into your story, but I'm going to use Kara, but I haven't gotten there yet. I'm almost there, but I would like to use Kinsey too, if that's okay with her. But I won't go into any details ever, never, ever, ever, ever. But anyway, so where was I? See, that's what happens, y'all. I get off track, and I don't want to get off track. Okay, so I will read comments at the end, okay? And I will say hi to everybody that comments and stuff. So, he told me stuff they said, y'all. They're mean to them, but they have to be, okay? Oh, we went in and we got to go inside the prison. I had never been inside. I've been to visitation a million times, but never inside the prison to get to see. Now, when my husband and I went in for 2.5 years, we just got done. We just quit when we moved here 3 years ago. And I'm so sad, but we went in every week. So 52 weeks a year, we probably went in 48 of those 52 for 2.5 years. So I went in a lot, and I was going in twice a week. So I've been behind. I could tell y'all stories, but that's not where I'm going with this. So we go behind, and you guys, these inmates to us, we were students. There was about 12 of us, and these inmates were, especially to us women, okay? They were yelling things, they were screaming things. These inmates here, these correctional officers hear this all day. That doesn't give them permission to go in and beat the crap out of our loved ones. That doesn't give them permission to go in and sell drugs and conspiracy, go in there and what's the word I'm looking for? Go in there and corruption and run dope for our inmates and get into situations and bring contraband in and do all the things that we see that the media loves to put out there, okay? They love it. That's what they do. The better, the juicier the story, the better that it is for us, right? Because we get terrified, we get scared. Do you know when my son was in segregation for 89 days, y'all, I was so scared. I cried every single day. And do you know, after that 89 days, and he called home, he was like, Mom, it was kind of nice to get away from the general population. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we really, we read into it way, it's harder for us because we're not in there. So the way for inmates to adapt is to kind of be brutal to the correctional officers. And the way that the correctional officers adapt is they just lash back. See, the correctional officers have the power. And they go, I'm going to write you up. I'm going to write you up. I'm going to write you. Why do you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so we go in there and we do that. But this is the part I want to tell y'all. Let's fast forward to, I was telling y'all, my husband and I were going into Buster Cole every week. And I would just see these a-hole correctional officers, but I couldn't say anything. Are you kidding me? I couldn't say anything. I had to just go in there and do my overcomers class, right? But then I go in there and I do possum talks. And there's this one correctional officer, okay? Her name's Kara. And I know Kara's not going to mind that I talk about this, so I'm going to. And she's amazing. She's talking to these inmates like they're a human being. She's respecting them. She's treating them like I would treat you or you would treat me. There's something about her. And I'm like, man. And she goes, yeah, girl, I just started over here. I was at another, facility right next door. I started over here. I'll be working over here now. And I'm like, man, this chick is cool. And I'm like, do you work on, we go in on Thursday night. She's like, well, sometimes I will be, my shift will be. And I said, that would be so cool if I got to see you, because the inmates would be around her. And it wasn't a flirting. It wasn't a trying to get anything. She would never. Christian woman to the T. And you know what? Her husband was doing time, not in this prison, but her husband of a lot of years that she had been with prior to that was doing time, but she was a correctional officer. To feed her family, she went to a totally separate facility and she was a correctional officer and she treated these inmates. So I would come in, and when I got to see Kara, it made I would see her at the beginning of our shift. And then guess what? So all of a sudden I'm talking to her and I'm like, yeah, I said, I've been part of a cowboy church for 11 years at this time. My husband and I do ministry. You ought to come out there. She goes, girl, I just started going to that church. I go, Cross Trails Cowboy Church in Commerce, Texas. You just started going there? She's like, yes, I just started going to that church. I was like, I'm going to come find you Sunday. So for several weeks after that, you guys, we would come in. And when Kara was there, the inmates were upbeat. It had nothing to do with, like I said, flirting or mistreat. They respected her and they treated her like she treated them. And they had something to look forward to. They knew that Kara was going to come in there and treat them with respect. Y'all, I'm sorry if I'm not watching the comments, but I'm like blind as a bat. So until I put my glasses on, I won't be able to see them. But, she was genuine. And I want to tell y'all, and some of y'all might leave the page when I tell you this, but really, we've had this page. I say we, because there's only 2 admin on this whole page. And you know why? Because they're both non-judgmental. They're both open-minded. They're both, they understand we're dealing with 9,000 people. They understand we all have different views, okay? But one of them is Kara. One of them is Kara. Kara is no longer a correctional officer. And you know why? They let her go because of the way she treated the inmates, okay? They don't want that in there. They don't want that. Is Kara a CO? Well, you know what? She's an ex-CO. And if anyone wants to, oh, that's shady. You know what? I'm the least shady person you'll probably ever meet in your life. I've been on the streets. I've run the streets. I've done it. I've done it all. I've been a Christian, thank God, living it for 17, 18 years now. My life couldn't be better other than if my son wasn't in prison. Honestly, that would be the only thing. If my son gets out of prison, when he's going to, and he makes it through. And I'm telling y'all, if you didn't watch this from the beginning, I would love for you to go back and see, because that's my take on correctional officers, okay? Correctional officers are loved ones too. And this is the deal on correctional officers, okay? Y'all, I not only admin this page, okay? There's 9,000 people. We have 56 other pages. We have state pages. We have a federal page. We have a prayers page. We have, and you might go, well, you're doing too much. You know what? The need is, there's a demand. And if other, who's going to do it? Somebody's got to do it. And that's my calling. And I can manage that as long as I'm not fighting with people on a Saturday night over whether correctional officers should be on the page or not. If we catch a correctional officer in here taking information from our page and taking it there, they will be blocked, deleted, blocked from every admin's page. They will. But I can say that I work for the Starbucks coffee when I'm a correctional officer, or I could say, so I admin all the pages. I have a food ministry where my husband and I go out and feed hungry people. Where I'm writing grants for that. We are literally feeding hundreds of people a month now, the county that we're in West Virginia. We are from Texas, but we moved to West Virginia 3 years ago. We've got a pen pal page tied to this. We're going to send out about 500 Christmas cards at Christmas. I have 2 kids ages 13 and 9 that I'm very involved in their life. I respond to every message that loved ones send me. What else do I do? I'm a mentor for at-risk students at my middle school where my daughter goes to school 3 days a week, 30 hours a week. I'm getting ready to go to training next week. Our ministry is a 501c3. We do a lot of ministry. Those are my priorities. To keep y'all safe are my priorities. To dig into people's profiles, I'm sorry, y'all, that's not my priority, because people can say whoever they are. But the good part is there is a remedy for that. My last name's not even Rose, okay? That's my author name. That's the name that I use to publish books. I'm not just going to put my last name. If you dug into my life, you'd probably be able to find my last name. I've got nothing to hide, but I'm not going to put my son's last name on this page. And I'm also not going to put your sons or your husbands or your brothers or your aunt or uncle or daughter or sister, okay? I worked with, and the only reason I'm telling y'all the things that I've done is somebody said tonight, I don't even remember her name, and it was very hurtful, and it was very wrong for her to say that this page isn't safe, and it's not real advocacy or whatever. Let me tell y'all something. I worked with a Can Do Foundation last year, and 2 of the 3 women that I was given as we call them guardian angels, they're walking free now, and they were doing life sentences, okay? Just because I pushed some paperwork. Obama granted these women who were doing life in prison for nonviolent offenses. He granted. So don't tell me, and I'm not trying to be, I am sometimes a little pushy, because until you know the facts, just don't assume stuff. And that's why I say correctional officers have loved ones of inmates. And if they're doing shady stuff, no, they're not allowed here. But I'm not going to go digging into every page, because I'd say 80% of the pages on Facebook aren't real anyway. They say their occupation's this. They say, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't have time to do that. The things that I just listed are my priorities in life. God, my kids, my husband, you guys, my son is in another state. My whole family's in another state. All the things I just told y'all that are important to me, that's what's important to me. Sometimes y'all comment and it hurts my feelings, so I lash back. I don't ever, really bad, but I don't want you to take me wrong in those, posts when I do these harsh comments like, leave the page if you don't like this. But this is the way we run inmate support / incarcerated low. And yes, we have 3 admins, which is me, Cindy Sue, and Kara. And Kara was a correctional officer for a long time. Kinsey, Okay, Kinsey was a correctional officer. She's no longer a correctional officer, which wouldn't matter. And she has loved ones, people she loves, okay, with the bottom of her heart. But does she get on here and give private information about them? No. And you go, well, this is a page that we're supposed to. Yes, come on this page and say, my loved one's being mistreated. He's at the, whatever unit. We can share that. It's freedom of speech. We are Americans. We are allowed to make a public page. Have you not been out there and seen? We expose units all the time. How do you think that the corruption stops? But for somebody to go, oh, we're not safe on here because now we can't say, that's wrong. Because if your loved one is in a facility, I don't care what the name, and something bad's going on, we're going to say it on here. And if a correctional officer, but if you don't give your loved one's inmate number and their name and all this information about them, how do they ever find you? Don't be so paranoid, okay? And you go, well, they could put my name in. Well, then don't. If you're that worried about it, take your name off your Facebook. Put something else. If your name's Jocelyn, put Jocelyn, Faith, whatever, Hope, Love. Put those things on your names. Why? Well, people won't find me. Well, maybe they haven't found you by now. They probably aren't going to find you. You know what I'm saying? So my name, nobody's ever going to find me by my name. And that's how I want it. Because if you know me and you need to know my personal information, you're going to know my last name. And I love all of y'all. Don't get offended. It's not that I don't trust you guys, because I do. But I know there's crazy out there too. And I know we're on social media. And I know if you choose to give your loved one information, you are the one at risk, not me. Don't put that on me, okay? Because it's not on me, and I won't put it on me. So with that said, that's what I feel about if correction officers should be on our page. I feel definitely, that's like saying, all this problem that we're having in the Catholic religion. If one priest, molested boys, does that make all of them? No, absolutely not. And we can't judge that because of that. I've seen doctors that screw people up, and then I've seen doctors that are the best doctors in the world. And you see, teachers that bully kids. You see teachers that, have sexual relations with teenage boys. That doesn't make all teachers bad teachers. So no, what this page is it's safe because it's non-judgmental, and we're not going to judge you because you're a correction officer. And I'm not going to go digging through your page to try to figure out who you are unless I think you're a scammer, because I'm not going to let you stay on our page if you're going to be scamming the loved ones. So yes, that's the ones that I go through, the foreigners, the ones that say they're army men and soldier men and they're really from Nigeria and they're trying to scam you. That's the ones I keep off our page, because you're not going to get any of that on our page, okay? So just to assure each and every one of you, I will read all the comments. I've got to take my kids. My kids are going, I got to take them out again tonight. And then I'm not going to be as busy. Well, actually, I'm going out of town this next week. But I just want y'all to know my main priority on this page is to keep each and every one of us safe. Don't share your loved ones. If you need a pen pal for your loved one, you private message us. Me, Cindy Sue, or Kara. Okay, you can find us. Cindy Sue, we tag each other all the time. And you can ask other people. They know the admins. But just know you are safe on this page. So with that said, I'm going to remove that post about are COs allowed on this page. Now, I want you guys to voice your opinion. If you still think, you know what, this is sketchy, then you know what, this might not be the page for you. But I can assure you that we keep this page as tight as we can. And we haven't had, we've had some problems here and there. Of course you're going to, but we get rid of it quick. We don't allow it on this page. Don't give your loved ones last names. It's not necessary. Call them. It doesn't matter who they are. And if you friend someone and maybe they're going to write your son, that's different. You chose to give it to that person through a private message. But just to throw it out there on the page, we take it off. If we have somebody that puts somebody's name and address and their number on there with their last name and number, we take it off, and then we private message them. And when we private message them, that's when we get them a pen pal, or we get them a card, or we get them whatever the need is. Okay, so that is That is the way I feel about it. Keep this thread going though. You guys, after I finish it, I'm definitely going to read it. I promise you I will go through and I will read it. I just got to take my kids out, but I just want to let y'all know you're safe here. But keep the thread going and talk about how you feel about this video. If you got it at the end, please go back and watch it. I tried to make it informative the whole time. I tried not to ramble on. That's why I'm going to stop it here, okay? And I just want all of y'all to go back and watch it. It's very important. And I want y'all all to remember too, if you're in the early stages of the incarceration, have faith, because I'm telling you, we needed a miracle. We needed an absolute miracle. My son was doing 25 to life 5 years ago, and my son will be out in 2019, okay? So miracles happen. I'll say his name's Michael all day long, but I'll never say what his last name is. That's all you have to do. And the people that need to know his last name know his last name. That's how you keep your loved ones safe. You don't have to tell everything to everybody. You don't have to tell what their charges are. If you want to share something because you want to ask something, you can. And you shouldn't be attacked for that either. And if you are, those people are removed too. So just know, regardless of what it is, you're safe here, okay? So with that said, y'all, you can keep making comments on here. I want to hear your opinions. I want to know how you feel, but I wanted you to know where I was coming from, okay? Go back to the beginning and watch it. Y'all have a great night. Peace, love, and the incarcerated, and as always, peace out.